right, now I'm going to spend a few minutes on the DayTrader service. We have upgraded, enhanced that over the last month or so. The DayTrader service comes with standalone applications, and then it also comes with two live, we call them cockpits. So those are going to be multiple intraday time frame setups, layouts that help with getting a sense of the overall, again, directional bias, what's happening in terms of the price action, whether we're in resistance zones, support zones, the directional bias. Are we looking at a condition currently that is positive? If so, is it in the we look at a 15-minute chart, 8-minute, and then for our cockpit number 2, we have a futures grid, which it even gets down into the 3-minute for help with scalping, getting a directional bias for that scalper. So first, I'm just going to start with what are the standalone applications, and that is our first one is the impulse monitor, and I'll give you an example of how you can maximize this. So this is not a buy-sell indicator. This is designed to let you know if there is a larger directional move either starting to unfold or already happening. Okay. And with that, that can help you catch the larger moves or prevent you from getting run over by a larger move that might be unfolding. But it is not a buy sell indicator. When it turns positive, it doesn't necessarily mean that's your signal to go long, although at times it's going to catch that move. But really, it's more about a bigger picture sense of what is the condition. And then we have a what we call a SLIM's 8-minute strategy. It's a combination of three components. And when they're in alignment, it goes green. When they're in misalignment or a conflict between the three, it goes yellow. And then if it's a positive alignment, it's green. If it's negative alignment, it's pink. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just a second, because I'll go into our strategy review area where you'll be able to see this. But this is live right now, and we have indexes, and we look at the SPY, the Qs, IWM, and DIA in terms of the ETFs that track those. And then there's also another set of about 20 symbols or so that we include in our DayTrader service. And this is going to help you find like what's on the move right now, like what could be breaking out into a new impulse. So you can sort on it, and you can see that Netflix is not only has a positive impulse right now, but also the turbo's on. So turbo is an indicator that's built within, is an algorithm that we have that's built within the broader algorithm of the impulse condition, helping to, now there's a couple more that just turned on to let us know when a new move within the impulse is likely happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over on my futures grid. And this is a live look at my futures grid. And the reason I'm pulling this over because we have established on the futures grid this awesome labeling. So this is proprietary code that we wrote that helps to reflect the dynamic changes in the market environment. And I'm going to look at, what was that? Netflix, NFLX really quick here. On the top, it's going to take a second to load up. Okay, yeah, so I can see here on the 3-minute, my reversal scout turned up. I have what I call my line in the sand, my trend indicator here, line in the sand trend indicator in the 3-minute. And you can see how we pulled back here. This has been more, positive on. We color code the candles. So the candles here, there's a little bit of a back and forth, but then we broke out above my line in the sand here. That's why it's that goldish brown color. We had a breakout here. That's the impulse monitor is picking up that we're in this larger move, and then we, very bullish here on the 3-minute. We monitor the SMI, so you can see when you have a new, and it's going to change the label. You can see here the NQ is falling right now, the SMI, but when it's rising, as soon as it shifts to rising mode, the label will shift and let you know So this is super insightful. I mean, you got to have a sense of what's the directional bias. What's the current move? Is the move on the upside? Are we in an upside sort of rising phase move? Are we also just breaking out? So we have a breakout indicator that we built in here with this label here. Lets you know if you're choppy within the high-low range markers, and then when you're breaking out. So each one of these time frames has a different marker, obviously, because you have a 3-minute for your scalper. You have your minor outlook here for the intraday swing minor, and then you have your more major swing, which is in the 15-minute, and it's really about like how many points am I looking for, right? So if I'm a scalper, I'm most likely, depending, I'm just going to use the ES as the example, but I might be looking for 2 to 6 points, somewhere around there. If you look at the history of the ES, it usually moves somewhere around, 3 to 6 points. 2 to 6 points is something that you could capture. I'm talking, again, this is intraday swing. I'm not talking about trading in seconds or just a minute. Might be 9 minutes, 10 minutes, might be up to 15, 20 minutes, somewhere around there. But then as you get beyond that, you're really getting into what's more of a minor swing, right? And that's where you're looking at somewhere between 6 and say 12 points, or 15 at a max when you're dealing with the minor swing. But then when you get into the major swing, you're looking for 15 to 25 points. So we have these tools to try to help us gauge what is the opportunity that's unfolding and be able to see it happen in live time. Like here, you can see on the 3-minute, we got above that line in the sand. And then our color, the candles start going green. Again, this is all about bringing the visual attention to what's happening. And that was, if you're a scalper, this was an opportunity on the long side. You could also see that the minor condition was positive at that time. So you want to be in alignment, right? That's going to give you your best and largest opportunities. If you're going to go counter trend, you want to keep your position sizing typically smaller and be prepared for that counter trend move to likely fail, right? I mean, that's the whole point, is if you're trending, you should see, if it's an uptrend, you're going to see higher highs, you're going to see higher lows. If you're downtrending, you're going to see lower highs and lower lows. So if you're going to go looking for a reversal play, there's nothing wrong with it, but make sure that you're focused on what's happening in that 3-minute, and then understand where you are relative to the other, larger time frames to get a sense of how far could this move go. We have a linear regression channels that we put in here, both on the 3-minute and also on the 15-minute. Those linear regressions are dynamic, so they're going to move, but they're going to give you a sense of where those ranges are. And you can see that in terms of the ES, we've been above the equilibrium line, which is usually a good sign of whether you have a bull, if you're bullish or bearish, right? Another one. So I'm always trying to, in an instant, understand what's my condition. So we've got several ways of indicating that, the condition and then the move. So the SMI is very helpful with where are we in terms of, are we in a rising mode? Are we in a falling, right, declining mode, or are we in a stalling mode? And right now we have rising mode in the major. We have rising, getting a little overextended, but that's strong in the minor. And we've been extended, screaming, and we got our trader radar telling us, watch out, this thing's been strong now for, a lot of minutes. It's been strong. So right now, we're getting up to the top end of the linear regression channel. We've reached the top end of the SMI. So this is where you have to start being more cautious is okay to say here. This, if I'm going to play another breakout, I have to be, if it's me, I'm going to be keeping my stops tighter because, I'm really reaching, more of an extreme part of a move that is occurring when it comes to that. So again, I got here because I'm looking at how I can use the impulse monitor. And if you have your own setups, you can use them to your advantage, the impulse monitor to your advantage, as it's shifting in live time to when things, when it's showing these impulse conditions, whether bullish or bearish, and when the moves are strong. So XLK, Meta, BABA, IWM, they're all right now showing a strong move to the upside. That doesn't mean, again, it's not a buy sell indicator. It just means that these moves are strong right now. So I can see the, oh, breakout happening on the 3-minute, a breakout happening on the 1 hour, 2 hour marker that I have, getting above my line in the sand. So this could be a, this could be a breakout move. There's a gap here that Bob might be trying to fill. And if I have access, to the grid, if it's, me, then I'm going to be drawing and say, okay, what are my levels? So I got a little bit of room here, 40 cents or so to my first target, and then my second target, and then my third target. And then I'm going to be monitoring, my line in the sand from a risk perspective. Then I do a quick reward risk ratio to see if I have a solid trade. Again, there's a lot of nuance built into these charts. This is our futures grid, but I wanted to show you how you can use the impulse monitor at an instant to be able to help you see what's really moving. Okay. And then you can flip this to right now. There's nothing there's one. USO is the only one right now that is showing a negative overall impulse condition. Again, this is not for determining the reversal. This is to tell you what's the move that is either starting to unfold or is already happening in terms of that overall impulse. All right, that's our standalone impulse monitor. And then also we have a market replay system. So you can go into the replay system and you can go date by date and you can look at screenshots. So we have a software program that takes screenshots all throughout the market session, and you can see how this works relative to the indicators, relative to maybe a strategy you want to look at, and you can go step by step, 5 minutes, and you can take a look at how this. So you can see here. So this is our cockpit number 1, and we have the impulse monitor on the left. We have our 8-minute chart set up on the middle, and then we have our roadmap. We call it our 15-minute roadmap on the right. And depending on your style of trading, again, you can use these all together. You can use just a combination of them. You can use these with the futures grid. How I use it with the futures grid is that I want to know where we are on the cash indexes in terms of are we in an acceleration zone, which are these yellow areas, which give a high probability you're going to move through it. You can see here when we opened up, we got through that acceleration zone, hit the first layer of resistance, and then started to pull back. And I'll fast forward this in a second. But that's how I use it is, okay, if I'm going to be long in the futures, I want to know what is the cash index looking like in terms of the key levels. So they play off of each other. You can see it happening all the time, how if the futures give way, when the cash index is going to give way, you're going to see a really nice move. And I don't want to be shorting the futures when I'm just moving into a potential acceleration zone. Or if I am going to do it, I'm absolutely going to have the smallest position size because there's a high probability that we're going to move through it. But I want to, I can use these in combination together. And you can toggle between both of them, cockpit 1, cockpit 2. But this is a replay system. So this is today's action. And you can see we got up through the acceleration zone for both the SPY or the SPX and NDX into a resistance level area. And then, right? You can see that the sellers come in. So that's why you got to know where you are in terms of the levels. And this is something that I manually craft in the morning before the market opens. I use our a proprietary swing high, swing low Fibonacci analysis along with some other tools to give me a sense of where these key levels are. And you can see how the market reacts to them. So here, this is at 9:31 Central Standard Time. We pulled back into some support. Let's see how that played out. All right. Oh, look at that. So the support, you had both the resistance. So we have choppy conditions right now, right? We had a move into resistance, got sold off, a move into support. And you can see the range that it was trading in. The buyers came in right there, and there was a chopping around. And we have 2 reversal scout indicators You can see them. It's so cool how you can watch them sort of play out, and you can see so right there, we had a nice move higher, or the indicator shifted, and we got another move. Let's see if we can, and we're into that acceleration zone again. And there we go. So the probability when you have our reversal scouts in the direction of the acceleration zone is better than 70% that you're going to fulfill at least 50% of the zone. And it even, 60% or better, you fulfill the whole zone. Now, past performance is, there's no guarantee of future performance, but based on what has occurred in the past, when you have the reversal scouts in that same direction, there's a high probability of getting deep into these acceleration zones, if not fulfilling them. And once you enter them once, they become weaker. You know how that works in terms of resistance or support, the likelihood of getting through that again. People ask, well, what about going back the other way? Yeah, I mean, these are price voids. So, I mean, really you're focused, this is a focus on the upside opportunity. But yes, when you get into resistance zone, there's a likelihood of pullback. You could come right back into that, the acceleration zone. What I have witnessed is that these, what we call the trigger lines here, this is your breakout trigger line. You'll watch that first for some support. But this was a, really choppy situation. Plus we got up near the top of the SMI level there, and then we pulled back pretty quickly. So this is the cockpit number 1, 8-minute grid. How do you use this in combination with the impulse monitor or with the reversal scouts here? What I'm doing is I'm trying to understand my bias first. So I'll look at the impulse monitor. I'll look at the reversal scouts. I'll look at the pattern. Obviously, just price tells you a lot as well. And then I want the shorter duration time frame to give me some signals. So if I go back in time here, we go back to right about here. So what am I seeing right here? This is really important. So you're seeing very quickly, there's a confluence of information that is supportive to the bullish case. I'm going to look at the NDX as the example. First of all, none of these are, although there is a impulse neutral, the slight negative bias, none of these are negative impulse condition. So if there was a negative impulse condition, I would not be looking to go long. If it's in a neutral, then I'm going to be looking more at a smaller position size. But I need to have the other indicators, the bias indicators, starting to tell me that there's logic to look at a long side opportunity. And then once I have other indicators supporting that, you can look to add some size to it. So right here, you have the reversal scout. There's 2 indicators. You have a reversal scout fast, which is this one, and then we call it slow. So when both of those are in the same direction, that increases the odds that that bias is in that direction. And since we had this pullback already, we weren't able to really see much of we had one test into that support, the next pullback and the next candle didn't violate that at all. So now the bulls come back in, and you can see on the SMI, it's starting to curl back up right there. So that's when you start looking at that potential for the long side, and then the impulse monitor turns on. So again, this is going to be, when it comes to what's going to be the first telltale sign, right? So if you're more of a, hey, I want to know which one of these indicators is going to help me from a reversal perspective. Well, you're going to be looking for what we call the signal line up here. Okay, so this one in terms of the minor, what are the minor signals? And then you want to look at the signal line. You're going to look at the reversal scout fast. So that's this one here. This green one here is telling you that it's happening in terms of a move. The impulse monitor is going to be slower to react. Again, it's not a reversal indicator. It's to let you know that there is a larger move now that is likely underway. You can see Trader Radar started to shift. We went from, this is interesting too, because Trader Radar gives you a lot of nuance, a lot of context. There was a dark red bearish candle that, or not candle, but bar that it picked up based on a combination of indicators that we have within the trader radar. And then we had a higher high that was made and we went pink. So we went from bearish to slightly bearish. And then we get it turned green, right? So this is starting to let us know that the overall condition was more positive than negative. And then I would be using my futures grid to give me a feel for where are we, right? Even more context. So that's how I put it all together when using these tools in terms of Cockpit 1, Cockpit 2, each one of the indicators. Very supportive in helping you. Again, first of all, it's bias. What's my bias? Where are we in terms of the move? Are we in a new rising move? And I can use the SMI to help me with that. And then also, where's the maturity of the move? So coming back to, the futures grid here, just a few minutes ago, I said that, we had to be more cautious, right? Because we were getting up into the overbought area of strong, but overbought on the 3-minute and also on the 8-minute. And you can see here that, we went into a chop mode, and it's identifying we're in a chop mode. It's identifying that it's neutral right now. And it's also identifying the SMI is falling. So if you are more of a momentum trader, I don't want to be looking to add a new long at the moment. I'd want to see so the reversal scout has gone negative. SMI's rolled over. Trader radar is pink right now. I'd want to see a breakout in terms of price. And then I would also want to see the SMI maybe turn back up. But really, this was a more mature move, especially in the scalp and minor timeframes, where it started in force, like right here. Here was the meat of the move. We got above the line in the sand. Reversal scout turns positive. SMI goes positive. That's your minor move. This is where you got to make your money. Right now, it's chopping around. Yes, there could be some left in here for sure. I'm not going to say there isn't, but I would definitely be keeping my stops tighter right now as I'm monitoring the risk, knowing where I am in this move. I'm not afraid to take another long side shot. It's just I have to be mindful of where I am, because we got the SMI in the 15-minute and the major still positive, right? So that move is still saying, hey, I'm still happening. We're overbought, but strong in the minor. So that could tell me if we get a breakout here, we could be another move could be underway. What would that look like? So I'm going to zoom back here. Let's see what I can find. Yeah, I mean, if there's not a whole lot here. If we hold this low, we could get a nice little run, right? So this is a important level right here, 66.90-ish. For this, for another scalp opportunity, I would call it. If we could hold that and break out, then, what am I looking for? I'm looking at a move, get up to this linear regression channel, the top end of that here. So that would be, we got a breakout here that could get us another, 4, 5, 6 points. But right now, it's telling me watch out, neutral bias, and I don't really have a signal on the upside. I'd want to see reversal scout turn back up. I'd want to see a breakout. Right now it's in chop mode. And or if I was going to be aggressive, I'd want to at least see price, right? So I want to see price tell me something. That would be my first signal. Then it would be reversal scout or SMI. And then also trader radar might give me a yellow or gray bar here to tell me, hey, we could see a transition occur. But right now I got a little warning coming up even on the trader radar. So overall, very bullish. But do I have a trade right now? If I was looking to enter, I don't. This isn't right now. I don't have one. If I was to be a scalper on the downside, right? So let's say I was like, hey, I want to trade. I would have to keep it small. My position size would be small because I'm fighting against what's currently bullish conditions and also a rising mode in the SMI. So my pullback would have to be, maybe you're coming down into the slim ribbon here. So you could look for a few points, right? Because you could get 3, 5, 6 points out of it. And we might get a little breakdown right here, but then I'd keep my stop right up here. If I was going to look to a scalp, downside scalp, short side scalp, I would keep my risk really, really tight on that, because I'm going against what the current dominant condition is. So that's how I'm using this all. It's just the information is now very clear. What is the condition? What is the state of the move? Are we rising move, and at what time frame? And then also, are we breaking out? Are we chopping? Are we breaking down? So you really can't get a whole lot more detailed in here. We've maximized as much of the real estate as we can. We have a huge resource area as well with the DayTrader service. And that's right here. I mean, there's webinars I've done, training videos that Slim has done. There's playbooks, glossaries, interpretation guides. I mean, you're going to have to put some time into it, right? But we've done everything we can to give you a comprehensive setup here so that you can really learn the nuances of intraday swing trading. So this isn't for seconds or just a couple minutes. If you're a scalper, we're looking at swings, right? So we're trying to identify what's the swing, what's the new swing that can happen. Those swings last several minutes. You might get into, even an hour in a minor move, and these could last several hours when you're talking about a major move that happened. Like this has been 15 minutes. If you're looking at the 15-minute, the SMI here, we're counting candles. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to that peak right there. We're talking an hour and a half at least for that move. But that's how you use these tools. We have all the resources, and you can connect with me on Discord if you got questions. There's a question regarding if you sign up for level 3. No, the DayTrader is a completely separate service. It's so you can get a discount on DayTrader, but it is not part of level 3. Level 3 is part of our core memberships, and we have a DayTrader service. There's been tremendous investment that went into establishing this DayTrader service, and we consider it to be completely separate from the other memberships. Right now, the special is, I think it's around $33 a month for the DayTrader service. So, I mean, you really can't beat it. I mean, you're talking about a handful of, depending on who you trade with, but I mean, commissions alone are you do enough trades, you're going to be paying $33 in commissions. And this is going to help you be more mindful of the trades you're putting on. What's my bias? What is the mode that I'm in terms of the move? Is it rising? Is it falling? Is it stalling? Like right now, you can see the SMI is flattening out on that minor. And when we started this review, I said that we are getting into a more of a risk or cautious time frame in the 3-minute. That's why you use the 3-minute. It helps me gauge what do we got left. And we had a little divergence that occurred in that SMI too. You can see it. So as we tried to get up higher, momentum told us, oh, no, I don't have any more gas in the tank. Trader Radar gave us a warning. SMI rolled over, and now we're having a little breakdown. So that would have been my scalp trade. Right now we're in a little breakdown. Could we get a little lower? Yes, but I'd be mindful of my trailing stop if I'm a scalper so that I don't give back my profit. And that's how it works. These are very sophisticated. These are very comprehensive. This is for serious traders. You're going to learn a ton, and you're going to learn from a professional team. So that's what we have today. Appreciate you hanging around. If you got questions, you can write to me. You can write to RV or Katie directly on Discord or email. And thanks everyone for attending today's live event, and then the after show, which has been the tour of level 3 and level 4. All the best. Take care.